her interest above all else. So help me God. Let's clap and take our seats. Right, let me take this opportunity of welcoming you to this very important and unique and historic, history-making event. And to thank all of these wonderful people here that have put this thing together. Because we inherited a ministry that was almost dumbfounded, without any voice, without any presence. The international representation that it requires was suffering. It was suffering some kind of quagmire. So we have come to change that. Now, of course, you could all recall that at the State Union and opening of Parliament address, the president indeed spent 6 minutes. You know what 6 minutes means when you are making a speech? 6 minutes on tourism. Now, if you calculate 6 minutes in a State of Union address for a new government, it means we are very serious when it comes to tourism. And we realize the deficits in the economy. We realize this deficit in terms of job creation, in terms of our international image, because we have not done enough. So this is the period of transformation. We are not there yet. We are just transforming. We have started building the infrastructure, the international reputation, what Sierra Leone deserves when it comes to tourism, leading us to bigger international development achievements, like the Sustainable Development Goals. You can talk about all of those issues. So what it means is that tourism today globally is the bane of international development. Now, for some of you who may have followed or have visited the Excel, you saw the massive world travel market. Hundreds of countries, people from different businesses, airlines, tour operators, travel writers, ordinary citizens, women, people who are involved in community work that has to do with the development of tourism. They were all there, which shows the level of seriousness the world is putting on tourism today and the hospitality industry. So for us in Sierra Leone, it means it's an opportunity for us to make the mark and the difference that it desires. Now, if we can reflect back at home, we have huge touristic reserves. I don't need to convince you. I know most of you know. But the challenge is that we have not been able to develop those products that can be able to give more opportunities to Sierra Leone. And we've missed that out for decades. So it means whether you are in Sierra Leone, whether you are out of Sierra Leone, that is the one single belt that links us together. If you are in hospitality, you're dealing with hotels, hotel investment. If you're dealing with tour operation, if you're dealing with activities that has to do with culture, activities that have to do with entertainment, activities that has to do with investment, trade, it means we are all together in this. So this is not a one-man job. This is not just a job of all of us. It's a job, it's a collective responsibility job for everyone. In doing this, there are many things which we have to be concerned about. We have to be concerned about the integrity of Sierra Leoneans, the nationality of Sierra Leoneans. We have to be concerned about government's resources that is being allocated in terms of how do we complement that in order that we can build very strong partnerships and come up with public-private investment programs wherein we can be able to lift our people out of poverty. you could be interested in talking to government about tourism education. Because we have very low skills level when it comes to tourism, hospitality, and whatever. Because over the years, we have done not much when it comes to our educational system to support like creative and performing arts, to support hospitality and travel education. So we need to talk about all of that. We need to talk about entrepreneurship, the youth, the young people, those people who for one reason or the other, some have not been fortunate to conclude their education. They've dropped out of the way, but they are now displaying talents and skills that needs to be harnessed. So how do we get all of this through those kinds of successful programs? Now we all know the situation in Sierra Leone, that we have huge monument relics, artwork, that are perishing. And I must thank Colonel Davis here, retired Colonel Davis, for his efforts and support to the Railway Museum. So we have all of these areas that need support, that needs capacity. But above all of this, we need to be very positive about Sierra Leone. If you can't do any of this, the one thing you can give us is to be positive. Because once you are positive, it means that you have been one of the ambassadors that can speak well about Sierra Leone to the next person. Because part of the problem is what we say about Sierra Leone to the next person. Because this whole thing about tourism is both international, it's domestic. But I want today to draw our attention to the intangible benefits, the things which tourism can do for us to keep us together. Tourism is a vehicle that can help us to interact positively through our culture, through our tradition. Tourism can bring us together in the entertainment promotion. Tourism can bring us together in creating jobs. Tourism can bring us together in responding to the challenges of the young people. It can help us to support agriculture. Now we are talking about agro-tourism festivals. A few months ago, we visited Bond Island. It's an iconic island. So it means we need to think about how do we develop those areas. We have so many beaches in Sierra Leone. We have islands. We have wildlife. We have game parks. We have areas to explore safari. We have places where we can construct eco-lodges. These are all areas of investment that we need to think about. How can we come together and build this infrastructure and build this capacity? Now, we also have a history that can give us some kind of touristic memorialization advantages. For instance, the war, the Ebola, the mudslide. But then Sierra Leone is not the worst for it. There are many countries that have been through this. We have Rwanda. Everybody goes to Rwanda to see the Genocide Museum. They see other things to go there. Everybody goes to the Auschwitz concentration center in Poland. Yeah? Everybody goes to Japan to see Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the tomb. We have many of these places, even in Latin America. So the argument about Sierra Leone has been through A, B, C, and D is a non-starter. Countries have seen worse and have turned those into advantages. And this is the way I want us to look at what we want to do, to look at tourism. We need to do huge international engagement and promotion activities. Even your local cultural activity that you do here in the UK is also a very big boost for Sierra Leone and the tourism sector, because it means you are keeping our culture, you are keeping our language alive. Now we need to think about how do we engage in promoting international events or local events. And I must tell you that I'm really very proud with what is happening today in Sierra Leone in terms of the entertainment industry, in terms of the tourism sector. But above all, the commitment and vision of His Excellency, the President, Julius Maadabi of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Because I tell you, he has put together a very, very top-grade, highly qualified people around him. And he has given us the mantra to move on. That is why we are doing all of this. Because we want to see change. We want to make sure that Sierra Leone comes top. We want to see how Sierra Leone can run with a number of international destinations. Now, I also will want to tell you that of the 3 World Trade magazines that came out from the UK now, Sierra Leone is featured in all 3 of them. In fact, we are being captured as the new beginners. There is another one we said, the new starters. And only 3 countries we are in, at least one of the magazines. This was South Africa, Rwanda, and Sierra Leone being captured as a new beginner globally. That is a huge recognition. Very big recognition. Which means all globally, the reports that are going out from the UK has already classified Sierra Leone as a very, very important rising destination. And this is really good for us. So once we've been factored very high, what does that imply? It brings stress and pressures on me and you. Because what it means is that many different people that you've never known before may approach you because you're here and you're saying, that's, oh, I went to that WTM. I want to do A, B, C, and D. How can we do this together? So you may be having people who may just speak to you because of what they saw at the WTM. And my message will be, please be positive. Because, you know, if you are not positive, it means all of these efforts we are making internationally is going to be undermined by the lack of positive statements. So it means if we are going this far, and you keep on negativity, it means you are undermining all of these efforts. Because tourism needs an atmosphere of peace, tranquility, frankness, positivity, that creates the business and entrepreneurship, that builds the confidence. That's what it needs. Now, we have done quite a number of things, because, you know, it's only a 6-month-old government. And sometimes people compare us as if we've spent 10 years. You know, some people, I mean, for want of maybe one reason or the other, may want to think 10 years or 15 years of problems. They may want to compare a 6-month-old government to have solved it. And I think that's very unfair. When you want to think about how far we've gone, you need to give us an If you ask me 1:6, 6 to what? But if you tell me 15 years is to 6 months, I will say, that is not what my teacher taught me. So we need to come together. We need to be on this together. Now, we've done quite a couple of things in the midst of tourism, support of His Excellency. One is we have actually worked in terms of reducing the cost of air tickets. But we'll make the announcement when we are through. but we've gone through the process. We have also gone through the process of introducing e-visas. We are going through the process. Currently, if you are coming from Guinea, you are coming from Liberia, you come through those two borders, you get visa on arrival now. So we are moving things going. From the point of view of the ministry, it's total overhauling. We are putting together a National Heritage Commission. We are putting together a Commission for Entertainment. And one good thing, because I inherited a sector that actually did not have the structural arrangement to even work with private sector, to even work with citizens. I have the responsibility of facilitating the establishment of those structures as well, because those structures were not there. So one of the very good structures which we've done, that we are going to work with on the PPP arrangement, is we have established the Sierra Leone Entertainment Foundation. And we have very good patriotic individuals who are ready to work. So what that means? It means we're going to have an established foundation that is going to be like a grant seeking for the young people in the communities, in the districts that have ambition. They want to organize achievement awards. They want to do beauty contests. They want to have a try on producing a film. They want to produce music. But the resource support is absent. So this foundation will have a responsibility in terms of mobilization of funds, grant seeking, capacity building, and working with all of these very senior and talented artists and film producers in diaspora. The president of that entertainment foundation is Mr. Jimmy Bangura, and he's very passionate about it. We have Jimmy Bangura, we have Mohamed Kalo, we have Rodney Michael, we have Ambassador Navo, we have somebody like Hannah Fuller, we have the technical companies, we also have some of the commercial banks. So I am building a strong economic foundation for tourism and culture, which means people's dreams will not die. When I became minister, I was very sad to see some people who have contributed so much to tourism, culture, and entertainment that they have not been able to live up to the standard of life that befits their skills. So we need to change that history. That is why we're going to go right on to do work on copyright. We need to change the fortunes of those people. Now, I remember when I took up office, we lost Mako. That was one of the incidents that changed my perception. Yes, he had family and everything, but government, the Ministry of Tourism, had to come in to give him a civic funeral. So this is the kind of thing. And I see a lot of young people in Freetown, out of Sierra Leone, who have beautiful voices, who do big things, but for want of strategic support. And I think this is where government is going to lay the foundation for us to start to talk properly and to see how we can move this forward. Many other things have been done. We've worked with the ambassadors. In fact, I'm very happy to hear my ambassadors now, being the messiah for tourism. Thank you very much. I picked the words you said. I said something good has happened. So we are now working with all the ambassadors that have been posted, because this is the only thing we can give Sierra Leone. This is the only thing we can do to let things work. So my message is simple. Be on God. Be a Sierra Leonean. Be patriotic. Think about the hundreds of youth who are in Sierra Leone, out of Sierra Leone today, that have interest in tourism, culture, and entertainment, that do not have support. Think of those people. And that is why it is important that we are now doing quite a number of international representations. A month ago, we were in France. We had a huge program. Because you remember, France was one of our main source markets. But over the years, we lost it. But now, we've come back. Now, in the UK is extremely important to us. It's a very important, market, not only a market, because we know the amount of support that the UK government gives to Sierra Leone. So it means our main source market is United Kingdom. They always come to Sierra Leone, no matter what it is. They are establishing businesses in Sierra Leone, I can tell you. So we have all of these things running. Now, I think before I end, I need to talk a little bit about the airport. And a number of people have been talking about direct flights. This one is serious. But you know what? We have a problem. I inherited a ministry and an airport hotel that is not functional. So the challenge is the moment we get people who can make it functional, then we have a case for all the airlines. I spoke to a number of people since being here. And the first question is, Madam Minister, you have to go and get us where to sleep at the airport. If not, don't talk to us about anything. And for me, I think that's a challenge which, as a government, we are trying to run with that. It's not as easy because 6 months, and the amount of demands for us to be able to move the system, the pressure is coming. But we are determined to do it. Nothing is going to change it. So on that note, I know that we are waiting to hear from our young people who should be doing like 20 minutes presentation if possible. The PowerPoint is possible. If it's possible, right? Are you ready? Okay, they will come and show you what we have. So you can tell your friends. You can be able to speak to people. We leave all our addresses. Now we have a website. We never used to have a website. We have a website. You can go there. 3 websites. You can email us. Of course, we are always fighting the WhatsApp group, but we are there. Newspapers are covering most of our programs. We have a very good networking relationship with the media. That's why ASMA is here. And of course, civil society. I will tell you, civil society has supported Ministry of Tourism. Of course, you now know that if you want to have your budget, the government, you need to present it to the budget hearing. So everybody hears about it. Because we are trying to do accountability at all levels. But then at that budget hearing, everybody said, your budget is too small. We need to increase that. And indeed, government has responded. And I thank His Excellency and the Minister of Finance, because what I was told by my colleagues in Kenya, in many other countries, is that if you want to do serious business, you need to make sure that you are in tune with your ministry, finance, and other ministries for you to be able to succeed. Because what was lacking was the interconnected and integrated strategy of running tourism. Tourism cannot stand on its own. It needs the roads. It needs electricity. It needs ICT. Digitization. Now they are punching us on digitization. We are managing. That's why when we had the ministerial conference, and the chairperson was our good old noble Richard Quest, we had serious exchanges that, oh please, you need to give us a break and let us pick our own trajectory, because digitization is important. So I think these are some of the things, and we want to see more of your involvement, of your participation. And I will finally say that we need to build a spirit of confidence between government and you. This is very important. These days, we are subjected to social media wahala. And you know what social media wahala is? Somebody can be sitting in his or her bedroom and drinking whiskey and post something. And write something. Not cross-checked, not double-checked, not triple-checked. By the time it goes through forwarded, people add. Next one, add. Another one adds. By the time you know it in the morning, it becomes a big story, or a big fat lie story. So what I want to appeal is that if you have and you hear anything, if you're not comfortable with anything about government, I think it beholds you. You can call the minister, you can call the minister of information, you can speak to everybody. So cross-check. Because what has destroyed us is this rumor mongering, this blackmailing that suddenly emerges as a truth, and for which is a lie. Because the fact remains, if you say something on social media about government, you have not been able to hear the other side of the story, and you take it as gospel truth, and you run with it, and you think it's the truth, I think you must have been very much unfair. I'm saying this because we are on a global campaign to change the image of Sierra Leone. And to be honest with you, if I'm on this campaign because government is spending huge amounts of money to get us to all of these countries, I will engage you publicly in your own backyard, in your country. I will invite you for a conversation. So we present our stories, we present our evidence. We get the witnesses, because that is what it should. If you say your rights have been violated, nobody questions that. But what you should not say is for you to convince everybody that what you are saying is the truth. For me, I am coming from a human rights background, governance. So once you say that, it has to fit within the principles, which you can use as indicators, to say this qualifies as a violation, this qualifies as an abuse, subject to litigation. If it's not subjected to litigation, then it's trash. Subjected to litigation, subjected to hearings. You take it to the Human Rights Commission, there are hearings. Or you take it to court. That's what you should do. So I think we should now be very smart Sierra Leoneans. We should investigate, we should hear the other side, we should engage. Look at me here engaging, because I believe in dialogue. I believe that's the country I'm coming from. So I think these are things, because you see, when we do these things, and then I come here with government to talk about changing the image, it means probably what has been done is going to undermine what I'm saying. And to be honest, as Minister of Tourism, I am going to go head on. If I go to that country, if it warrants me to see the president, I will see that president of that country. If it warrants me to see the prime minister, I will see the prime minister. That please, there is a citizen here that I want to engage. Or else. Yeah. Please, I want the space. I want the space to be heard. Because with all fairness, if I am in Sierra Leone, and a group of people run up to me with placards saying something against somebody in the UK, and they don't investigate, start to make speeches, it's a problem. It's a problem. I'm not saying this as minister, I'm saying it because of the professional background I'm coming from. Because we need to protect each other. So on that note, I see everybody's looking as if something, it seems we drop suddenly here. Because I'm dropping it. Because for tourism, I know they take a home. When I don't put my program down, then you can go make rikishi. You say Salono better, ready for me? Yeah. So anyway, on that note, I see we are all smiling. I think this is what we want, right? This is the right time. Let us all be committed. If we come together, maybe some of you will now have businesses that will take you to Sierra Leone. You now have a very firm foundation for investment. These days, you go to my office for investment, I ask you, where is your plan? Look at my directors here. I said, oh, the place is open. You want to go to Tokyo? Okay. You want to go to Mama Beach? Okay. You want to, yeah. There are no preconditions. There is no 10%. So that's all. Let me thank you very much. I know after the presentation, I may have a few questions to respond to. Right? Creo say Uda red car feet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Minister. We have to be very fair to her. I think she deserves another round of applause. So we must always remember that she was a lecturer, and she's still a lecturer. So she has delivered a very good lecture, and it's no surprise because it's coming from the heart. So thank you, Honorable Minister, and I hope the message has been well hammered. We do not need more presentations after the Honorable Minister has said it all. And I picked out three important things. Many things, everything was great, but three things. One, young people. She is very passionate about engaging young people. Because young people are not just the present, are also the future. And that's why we have AYV, which is the African Young Voices, giving voice to young people. So we fully endorsed your message, Honorable Minister, and I'm sure the future of Sierra Leone lies in the hands of young people. The minister spoke about Sierra Leone at the top. That is very important. So where are we at the moment? We don't know. We have to find our position in the world. And the only way to do so is through tourism and investment. It is tourism that defines us as a nation, our culture, our people, and our beauty. In this room, we have people who are not from Sierra Leone, and I think it's important to recognize their presence. I want to welcome you all from this side and from the other side. So we hope you visit Sierra Leone in order to help us be at the top. And the final point from the Honorable Minister that I want to also buttress is involvement, which is why we have this meeting, is to engage. The Minister wants to engage us. She wants to hear our views, how we can all work together, how we can harness our resources to help Sierra Leone develop. In a positive way, not in a negative way. Not the social media she talks about where someone will just have a whiskey and then post negative things. We learn to post positive things. Sierra Leone is not bad, as you will see on the news. I've been to many countries. My work with the Commonwealth allows me to engage over 53 countries in the world. I've been to Asia, Caribbean, Pacific, down to China, all over, and I've seen that what we have in Sierra Leone is huge and is important. So we are here to embrace it. Now we are going to showcase further what we have as a country. I'm sure the presentation is ready, but part of that presentation is to have the physical side of the presentation, not just theory. We are going to show you what Sierra Leone means in terms of the cultural heritage. We're going to have a performance, and I'm sure my producer should be alerting me that we're going to have a performance here. This performance, you will love it. I've loved it. It's international. It represents Sierra Leone. It's just a tip of the iceberg. We've seen the young people earlier. We're going to see another performance. And then from there, is he ready? I want to cue. Is he coming now? Fantastic. So let us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Yusuf Jallo as he presents Sierra Leone to showcase our culture. Welcome.
I say in. I say in. If I can get this microphone to get going. What kind of stage manager is this we have here? Eh? There's a minister here. Don't you know that? What's your problem, eh? Cha. All right. Are you all ready for a story? Are you sure you're ready for a story? Okay, but first of all, let me, as we say in England, I want to big up our honorable minister for being here. All right? Really, it's awesome that you're here. And of course, the wonderful ambassador. You see, we're young boy ambassador. Don't mess with me. All right? Okay? All right. But it's awesome for you all to be here. And for me, this is an incredibly important meeting. You know, this is what we say in Limba. Any Limba person in here? All right. Wow. In Limba, when we say Mampama, what's in Mampama mean? You see, you all say Poyo. Mampama does not mean Poyo. Mampa means for come together and have an important meeting. You see, in Limba, when you say Mampama, the important meeting. So they gave it to the drink. Do you get me now? We are learning all. All right? That's what Mampama means, to have an important meeting. So what I want to do, I want to tell you some stories, but please bear with me because time is not on my side at all. But I want to give you two stories. AYV, are we okay with that? Honorable Minister, are we okay with that? I just want to give you two stories. Okay, about the importance of holding on to, keeping our heritage. But before I do that, let me give you a little bit of drumming. Would you like that? All right, here we go. On my voice. Now, let me see how many of you remember this one. Oh! You are invited to come to Sierra Leone, brother. You are invited to come to Sierra Leone, sister. All right, here we go. You are invited to come to Sierra Leone, brother. You are invited to come to Sierra Leone, sister, to eat some sake tomboy and jolabete. I say inna, I say inna, I say inna, I say oh, lo lo la, lo lo la, lo lo la la eh, lo lo la la eh, lo lo la la, lo lo la la eh, lo lo la la, lo lo la, lo lo la la eh, lo lo la la. Them men they are so. Mani gogo guamio aliandale, mani gogo guamio aliandale, aliandale lingbe lingbe sigago ekoko ko alupo signa oh abemi kai konyo bea tondo e jagwelo manda male tondo we tondo e jagwelo manda male tondo ase ina oh yeah tomate jibakala oh yeah tomate jibakala what you talking on hey give me never for bad way let me see if they limba then they are so then limba then they are so oh where them fuller than they are so them madingo than they are so all right well if they all day then we catch we own brother and back. Lift, right, lift, right, lift, right, lift, right, lift. So, old MacDonald had a farm. Old MacDonald. Yeah. All right. If you're ready now for a story, I say inna. Kondo mere manyogo bagataba. Kere kan komputo kontoro. King Mouse had a problem. Shall I do it in English, Kringlish, or Creole? Kringlish? All right, okay. You three, you are lucky. I would have lost you all. All right, okay. Now, King Mouse had a problem, and King Mouse's problem is how to make all the mice in his kingdom amazing, how to make them wonderful, how to make sure they are fit with 12 packs. King Mouse is thinking, how do I make sure all the mice in my kingdom, they're intelligent and behaving well? As he's thinking, fruit boof, came Mr. Cat. And Mr. Cat came and said, oh, greetings, all hail King Mouse. And King Mouse is thinking, wait a minute, oh, Brapus, what's in this? He says, oh, King, greetings to you. I have come to your kingdom. I came out, wait a minute, oh, I do not know about this. And Mr. Mouse, he says, oh, King, don't you fret. I have come in peace. And while King Mouse is thinking, what is this? Mr. Cat, he says, oh, King, lately I have been in meditation. In my meditation, I had a revelation. In my revelation, I saw how beautiful all the mice are in your kingdom. And he really say, well, so in fact, King, I am deeply in love. Is he in love? In love with what? Oh, in love with all the mice in your kingdom. And King Mouse is thinking, in love with all the mice in my kingdom. Oh, King, don't fret, you see, because lately I have been in my meditation, I had and in my revelation, I realized that I am now vegetarian. And the king got really vegetarian. He said, oh, King, can't you see how wonderful I look now? I'm only veggies now. And the king says, wow, that is amazing. Well, how are you going to? He said, well, King, I have come to help you with all the mice. I'm going to teach them all how to be good. In fact, I am going to teach them how to enjoy tourism. By the time I finish teaching them, they'll bring in investors. And the king said, really, that is wonderful. Oh, that is so great. I'll call my ministers. I'll call them. What do I do? He teach them how to be more. And the king thought, oh, that is wonderful. Messenger, come here, messenger. Come here, messenger. Your king is calling you. What's your problem? Come here. Come over here, messenger. Come here. Sit down. Sit down right there. Sit down, messenger. Sit down. Messenger, I want you to bang on that drum and call all the mice.
Mices, come here, quickly.
Did the mice come out? No! Thank you so much. Well, they're there and they're thinking, who is going to call all these mice out? Yes, the youngest man in the house. Come on up here, sir. Come on up here. Come on now. Please sit down, sit down. Sit down, please, and call all the mice for me. Please go ahead and call them.
Arata Kanaya.
And with that, all the Aratas came. Please, don't go yet, don't go yet, don't go yet. Please sit down, please sit down, please sit down. Well, thank you so very much. Now what I want you to do for me is simply this. I want you to give the mice this instruction. Tell them they must all make a straight line in the middle of the forest at night. Please tell them.
Una chinap. Straight line. Now the forest. Now.
And please tell them for me, when they make a straight line, they must only look forward. They must not look backward.
Una yeri, now pay attention. Una look forward, not back.
Thank you so very much. What a very kind mice. And me, who's going to teach all you mice, I will be at the back. Thank you so much. Well, Mr. Cat was sitting down and all the mice made a straight line. In the middle of the forest, Mr. Cat came. He stood right behind them. And as the mice were going straight line, not looking back, Mr. Cat, he started singing a very strange song. Kondo mere mere maniogo bagatabang garekan komputo kontoron. Kondo mere maniogo bagatabang garekan komputo kontoron. By the time you know what Mr. Cat is doing, it is shocking everyone. But then I ask you a question. Why was Mr. Cat so successful at eating the mice? Because they did not look behind. We have to look behind it. We are going to promote tourism in Sierra Leone. We have no choice but to look behind. What's the heritage that's been left for us? What is it that's been left for us? What are the, if you like, 5 things, 3 things, 4 things, 1 thing that is of value, that is a way of Sierra Leonean life, that you, me, we are prepared to fight for, die for, go to war for, to protect, to preserve, and bust stuff in the world? What is it? You take your time to think about that, Sierra Leoneans. Write it on a piece of paper. For you who's Mende, is it the Bebe? Is it your Yamama? Is it Koboy? What is it for you? Is it Sewa River? If you're Timini, what is it for you? If you're Limba, what is it for you? If you're Creole, what is it for you? Is it your Kumbe? Are you investing in your Kumbe? So that when people come in, you know you can take them to a Kumbe school and make money and employ young people. What is it? When we talk of tourism, we cannot talk of tourism without the heritage, the rich heritage that we have in Sierra Leone. You and I in England here, you don't mess with Big Ben. You don't mess with the Eiffel Tower in France. You don't mess with Stonehenge. You don't go to F-16 fighters. In Sierra Leone, what is it? What do we have? Even cotton tree is an amazing treasure. We've got to add value to it. Because when we add value to it, people will pay. I've been to Machu Picchu. Many of you know me, you follow me, you know I travel around the world doing went to Machu Picchu, and I saw old women, old men, climbing up steep mountains to go right to the top of Machu Picchu. And I stood there and I saw thousands of people. Think about it. When I went to Egypt, it's the same thing. At the call of Tutankhamun, there's a pilot who has a job. There's an engineer who has a job. There's a chef who has a job. There's a teacher who has a job. There's a lecturer. Do you get me? At the call of Baibure, how many people has a job in Sierra Leone? Right. How many of us know where Sir Milton Maga is buried? And we need to know this. We need to know this. Ebenezer Kalenda's guitar, where is it? Salia, his accordion, where is it? Until we look for these things and piece them together. Because I know, Honorable Minister, I know you're doing a great job with Charlie Hafner opening clubs up country at the moment. I know that it's about time we start that. When are we going to open classes to Timini and Linde and Kurako and Yanoka? So that people can come in, we can make money out of that. I've seen it in Gambia. We got to look back because our ancestors have left us deep, strong heritage. I want to give you my final story. Is that okay? Yes, let me give my final story. And this story, I want you all to join me. Right? I want you to join me in it. A story, you tell me, oh, get on with it. I want to tell you a story. I said I want to tell you a story. Well, there was an old man, and this old man, he had a hat, a beautiful hat, more beautiful than the one I have on my head. But this old man came a time when he was adult. He was broke. And he's thinking, what do I do? This sock here is too much. He thought, I can make hats. If I make these hats, I will then take all this hat to the market to go and sell. So this is what we're going to start. So this old man, he decided to make some. I did not see the action. He decided to make some. I did not see the action. He decided to make some hats. And this old man, as he carried on, he made so many. And he put them in a bag. And he carried this bag. He thought, I am going to the market, so I'm going to make some money. He carried on to the market. And he go na market. And he go na market for go sell cap. And he go na market. And he go na market for go sell cap. But because the market was very, he got very, and he thought, you know what, let me just lay down under this tree here. It's cool, let me just fall to sleep. So he fell down. And as he's sleeping, a fruit came, hit him on the head, poof, and he thought, fruit is this. Picked it up, looked at it, nice, had a bite, his energy, and he thought, this fruit can make mango, and that's how mango got its name. And he carried on. And he go na market. And he go na market for go sell cap. And as he carried on, again, because the market was very, he got very. And as he got very tired, another tree, he thought, let me just fall. He lay down to sleep, put his bag of hats down, and underneath this tree, right out of the tree, there were some monkeys, and the monkeys all came down, and they grabbed this man's hat, went right off the tree, and all the monkeys were wearing his hat. When he woke up, he looked, no, where's my hat? And he looked at the monkey and went, monkey see, monkey do, and all the monkeys went. I did not see your hand, so. All right. And the man thought, I cannot believe this. So with both hands, he went, monkey see? And he thought, I cannot believe this. This is absolutely insane. And he got so angry. He took his hat, he threw it to the ground. And monkey see? And the monkey also went. The monkey took their own hats, threw it to the ground. What did he do? He gathered his hat inside his bag. And they go now. The market, and they go to the market for go sell cap. He got to the market, did he make money? He sold, make money. Got straight home. As soon as he got home, he told his grandson, The grandson learned what his grandfather did. Time passed by, the grandson passed away. Our granddad passed away. And the grandson was left there, boys, young boys, they're growing up and they all now singing, I mean, don't register for put her inside there. All right, so he's so he's doing all of those things. When he's doing all of those things, when all of a sudden he realizes, wait a minute, I'm myself an adult. What do I do? We thought, my granddad made hats. I can make hats too. He made a lot of, and he too, he went to the, and as he's going to the market, well, you know the first thing, don't you? It's a mango tree. He laid down, he got up, he carried on, and they go now. And as he carried on, he made the second tree. It happened to be the same tree where those monkeys were. So he lay down to sleep. The monkeys came down, they took all the hats and went up. He woke up, he looked at, no! And he went, ah! Monkey see? And the monkeys went. He thought, these are the monkeys my granddad told me about. Aha! I'll test them. So he, monkey see? And the monkeys. And oh, I got you now. So he took his hat, he threw it on the ground. One monkey ran down, grabbed the hat, and ran up. And the monkey of the tree, he looked at him and he says, you humans, do you think you're the only ones with grandparents? We too, our grandparents told us. And we are going to keep the hats. So my people, it's important we tell our children about our heritage, so that no one will come and steal their hats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am Yusuf Ujalo, the Cowfoot Prince. This is what I do. I travel around the world telling Sierra Leonean stories all over the world. I've got a National Storytelling Festival in Freetown on the 24th of December. And maybe, you know, if you'll be there, I'll extend an invitation to you to come. We've got all these schools in Sierra Leone competing because I'm trying to bring back this wonderful culture of storytelling. So we're bringing back and have this thing, okay? And I'm connecting international storytellers, all of them are there. Yeah, and we have another big festival, and who knows, God willing, I'd love to invite you guys, you there at some point, Honorable Minister. Mambina Fest is in Kamakyu in the north. Next year, I'm bringing in some Minde dance troupe to come up to Kamakyu, to come and perform with the Limba groups and so on. We've been running it for 8 years now, but that's there. And all is about bringing back our wonderful heritage that we have, and believe me, it's beautiful when we can revive these things. Thank you. I am Yusuf Ujala, the Cowfoot Prince.
Myself, the Kanguna Market. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the highly talented Yusuf Ujalo.
I hope I will not be committing a crime if I should ask for another round of applause. So Yusuf is a fantastic act for Sierra Leone. And you will see more of this. This is what is just Sierra Leone is about, what we can offer. So I will invite you, for those who don't maybe have a very long time, go back to Sierra Leone and see our culture and celebrate. So we thank you for that performance. Moving forward, I will have to allay your fear that we're going to finish very soon. We have food there for our very distinguished guests. We have music at the end. But before that, we want to hear your views so that you can ask questions. So we are going to run the program as follows. We are going to have the dialogue, the questions, which will run for a few minutes. And then we'll have the presentation, which is being worked on. That is just 5 minutes, I've been told. And then we have music and food. So I anticipate that we'll be here very, very soon, and I'm sure you're enjoying the meeting. So the next segment is to open the dialogue. And we have Ade Darami. He's been introduced already, but he's an expert in investment and development. And we have Asma James here in media. We have also our international partners here. The Commonwealth team has just joined in. We are wanting to come here and meet with the minister because the Commonwealth has a role to play, our international partners, development partners, to support Sierra Leone. So they also want to share their thoughts. So Ade will facilitate this session. I'll hand over the baton to Ade Darami and Mrs. Asma James to run us through the dialogue, and then I'll come back and progress. Over to you, Ade.
Thank you, Messe. And just to amplify something that several people have said already, I think we have one High Commissioner, but we have 200 ambassadors. I think every one of you has to be an ambassador for Sierra Leone. Now, when we had the minister yesterday at the meeting at Ford, I'll be very brief. I mentioned that when I told somebody that I was going to a meeting and it was the Minister of Tourism and that she had come here for the World Travel Market, Sierra Leone in a group on WhatsApp said to me, there's fighting in London. Why are we trying to get people to come to Sierra Leone? So I just sent him a newspaper cutting from The Guardian. As of yesterday, in London alone, there have been 120 murders this year. In London alone. In this last 7 days, there have been 8 fatal stabbings in London alone. Is anybody stopping themselves from coming to London because of that? No, they're not. So let's stop this rubbish that because there's a skirmish somewhere in Freetown or in Sierra Leone, suddenly the country is not fit. Let's stop it. Let us promote that which is positive. And it's on that note that we're going to be inviting a few people to come and say some things. And I'll just start by abusing the fact that I have the microphone. 20th of August, 1619, does that date mean anything to anybody? Raise your hand if it does. Okay, that was the date that the first African slaves landed in the United States of America. So what does that mean? 20 August 2019 means it's 400 years. Many of the slaves that were transported to the Americas, to the West Indies, stopped off at a holding point where? At Mons Island. Ghana has said if 1619 was the date of departure, 2019 should be the date of return. And they're given free citizenship to Americans and people from the Caribbean who wish to return. I'm making this statement here because I want our government to do something similar, because we have an even greater call on those people and a greater link with those people. So let's try and make 20th of August 2019, either day, it's probably rain season by the time we get there, but let's be there to welcome those who are coming from the Americas and from the Caribbean. And so, am I allowed to call people up?
Yeah, we can move the mic.
Oh, we can move the mic to them? Okay. And so some of the people that we have, and before I go to the very first person that I'm going to call, I just want to say again very briefly. Many of you here, you kind of joke with me because you know me, and you know that I go and visit every African country that's having a meeting in London. You'll find me there. I don't go there just because I'm idle, actually. I go there because I want to learn something from my own country. My father was born in Gambia, so that's one link. But I go to Cape Verde. I've been there 6 times in the last 6 years. And the reason I go to Cape Verde is that in 2008, Cape Verde had about 78,000 visitors in total. As of the end of last year, okay, so 78,000 in 2008. 10 years later, or in fact, it's probably going to be more by the end of this year. But at the end of last year, they had 716,000 visitors. And you know why? Because they have the infrastructure, Don't take my word for it. Go on YouTube, type up the name of any Cape Verdean artist, and their video isn't just a music video, it's an advert for their country. That's what we need to do. And that's what there are Sierra Leonean artists here. We need to encourage them. Check out people like Mayra Andrada, Sarah Tavares, Tito Parish. Just go there, see their videos. It's an advert that their tourism board will be proud of. I'm actually working with the Cape Verde Tourism Board to put on an event in London next year. Of course, I'll be working with my own Minister of Tourism and the Tourism Board. But that's something that they embrace the idea of using culture to promote their country. And so on that note, I would like to call to the front here somebody who is well known to many of you here. He's made many movies, and he realizes the importance that films and culture have to play in the role of promoting a country. So ladies and gentlemen, please give, I want you to clap till you feel your hands sting with pain. Could I ask Mr. Collins Archie Pierce to come, please?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. 2 minutes, oh my gosh. Well, I don't need to even introduce myself. I've only got 2 minutes. Well, I'll just say to everyone here, thank you very much for coming, and also my able Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. We bonded yesterday, we had a good chat. And to you, Excellency, sir, thank you very much for putting this together. Now, I want to actually plead with all of you here. We need to support the entertainment industry in Sierra Leone. I'm serious. Why I'm saying this, that is also part of promoting Sierra Leone. When we talk about tourism, we need to sensitize people to go to Sierra Leone, and one of the ways we can do it is to let them see the beauty of Sierra Leone. Let them know. We need to put things that we do in Sierra Leone in the entertainment industry. Make sure when we package it, people will be like accentuated, see what I really need to go and see. Our artists in Sierra Leone, I won't say they're perishing, but they spend so much money doing stuff. See, do you know how much it costs to put a video together? A music video. It's a lot of money if you want to get it right. But when they do it, what happens? We don't patronize them. It pains me when I go to some functions, Sierra Leone events, and the DJs will be playing all this Nigerian music, and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? This is not encouraging at all. Well, I'm a film see. Our artists in Sierra Leone, I won't say they're perishing, but they spend so much money doing stuff. See, do you know how much it costs to put a video together? A music video. It's a lot of money if you want to get it right. But when they do it, what happens? We don't patronize them. It pains me when I go to some functions, Sierra Leone events and things, and we don't patronize them when they do the premieres. We'll be sitting down asking for free tickets. This is not on. Yes, if you want to propagate it, if you want to do it well, you can give free ticket for a start. But what will happen next? They want to continue to want free tickets. Let's support them. 2 minutes is up. 30 seconds. Let's support them. Now, compounding that with tourism, I bet you once they know about Sierra Leone, they want to go there. Somebody watched my film on flights, and the person was saying to me, one of my senior directors, I work for Leone Underground, I want to see you. And he was asking to take picture with me. I was like, what is happening? So Sierra Leone is like, I never knew about Sierra Leone. And that was, for me, in my own little way, promoting Sierra Leone. But all we need to do is to support our actors, support our artists, and tell the news. When people ask about Sierra Leone, don't talk about Ebola. Let them know the good things, please. And God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Collins. And now, many of us know the importance of media, and some of you may know that I worked at the BBC World Service for about 15 years. And even when I was there, actually, it was a struggle to tell positive stories. And I don't care if there are any BBC people here. Turn on the news. Almost 90% of the headlines is negative stuff. Many of you here know somebody from 98.1, And they are a station that has the utmost respect of Sierra Leoneans because they put out truth and they put out positive stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Asma James.
Good evening. I think we've said it all. Our minister here, she spoke lengthily. And I'm here today to say I am so happy to be here. I am actually here with support from the Ministry of Tourism and also Tourist Board. By the way, I want you to know that we have 2 strong women at the affairs of the tourism business. We have Madam Fatmata there. She is the head of Tourist Board, the National Tourist Board. And I think they're having a program wherein you have these small booths at the beach if you want to do entertainment. They build the booth already. You go, you just pay for it, and you do your entertainment. Thank you very much, Madam Fatmata, and also to the Minister. Thank you very much, Madam Minister. I'm here to cover the event. I was at the World Market exhibition, and I saw our tourists, the tourist guys, selling Sierra Leone to people who came to the booth. I took pictures of that. And like you said, sir, whenever you sit, we have challenges now with the social media. When you sit and then you see something, many a time people send message to me, is this true? And I tell them it's a lie. This is because we've maintained our credibility over the years on Radio Democracy. The social media is there, and I have my friend who wanted to come last year with his fiancée, and he said the fiancée was white. And then the parents was afraid because they said, Sierra Leone, we have bamboo in the streets. And then, yes, because, and then I laughed, and then I said, okay, let him come. And he came, they came last year. And then I took them to all these beautiful places. We went to Toke, we went to Kent. And, he said to his parents, I am not coming again. And then the parents said, why? And he took all these beautiful pictures, put them on YouTube. He was making videos with my driver who could not even speak English. But then because of the fun, they go to the beach, they speak to these fish people who, the fisher people there, the fish women. And then, they said, okay, now I just received a mail while sitting here that there are 5 of them, they are coming to go to Turkey. So just by that video, he made and then put them on the internet. Now we have 5 people who will be coming to Sierra Leone for that. So I know it's hard. I am a journalist. I am very careful of what I say. I don't want people to say, okay, now this is this. But I can tell you the Ministry of Tourism is a new face. When you go to the Ministry of Tourism, I don't want to compare the Ministry of Tourism. Like I said, I am a journalist and I have maintained my independence. But I want to tell you that Madam Emuna Tuprat sitting there, I was so excited when they called her or appointed her as Minister of Tourism, because I know when she was at the university with the Peace and Conflict Studies Department, when she's talking, she's so passionate about what she does. She will speak and she will make sure she delivers. And then so now she is at the FM of the Ministry of Tourism. We've seen the difference. She was at the trade fair yesterday, 2 days ago. You can see the passion. She was telling people to come to Sierra Leone, the new destination. I was there watching her argue, well, not argue, but they had with Richard Quest, back-to-back conversation, telling Richard Quest, no, Africa, we need to tell our own stories. So please, and the minister spoke about be positive. We need to be positive. I am so happy for AYV. AYV, I'm the founder of AYV. We grew up together. We've been friends for a long, long time, and we're in partnership. I'm so happy to be here, and I am so grateful to AYV because I know people are watching all over the world. They're watching AYV online and the platform they've given to young people. This is what we need. And also, back to the Ministry of Tourism, please come. We need to write and tell our stories. We need, we see all these young women, girls, they will sit, make videos now, send them all this. This is what we need, positive messages. Positive messages, it's difficult. Yes, you have to cross all the way to Lunge, you take, but I can tell you, we have these ferries now, very easy to go across Freetown. In fact, you'll enjoy the ride from Lunge to over to Freetown. So just come and enjoy Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is beautiful. We love strangers. And when you come, you will enjoy our cassava leaves. And then you will enjoy our potato leaves. And I think the Nigerians say they have the best jollof rice. But I can tell you, Sierra Leone will also have the best jollof rice. So thank you very much. Please come to Sierra Leone.
Thank you, Asma. And the thing is, we don't want to beat up on social media. And I guess the point that I've been trying to hammer home is the fact that social media can be a force for good. And so let's use it for that. Many years ago, when many of us first started using our smartphones, I got into a lot of arguments with friends. Because, and I'm not exaggerating, and there are many of you here who can vouch that what I'm about to say is true. One of the most frequently shared images of Sierra Leone at the time when people were just getting to use their smartphones were of piles of rubbish in the capital of Freetown. Now, people felt they could share that and make fun of it. And I used to say to them, if you send that to a non-Sierra Leonean, that's the impression of your country that you're giving. You and I have been friends for 10, 15 years. You've never sent me a picture of a beautiful scene in Sierra Leone, of a beach, of a seaside town, people getting fish, but you're sending me pictures of rubbish piled in the streets of Freetown. The joke's on you, it's not on Sierra Leone. You're the joker for sharing it, don't share it. I used to get into argument with people. They say, oh, we're just sharing stuff that's there. Well, the beaches are there, beautiful culture's there, so let's share that as well. I'm being given a sign, probably to shut up or something. No, it's not. Now, Messe had said earlier that we don't want to dominate proceedings totally from here. And I guess we don't want to lecture either, even though it sounds that that's what I'm doing. And so we will take some very, and I don't know how to emphasize the word brief, the briefest of brief questions. We don't want an essay from the floor. We don't want a statement, just a quick question. If it can be just one sentence long, that will be even better. If not, I'll tell the sound guy to switch off. So, can I see a hand up for a question and say who the question is for? So the gentleman there was the first one. Yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. His Excellency, welcome, Minister. Thank you. My question is very simple. Firstly, if I may, my name is Joe Tucker. 5 years ago, when I was about to study tourism, it is a question, but I'm starting from just a brief description. You've made, after a brief explaining the 6 A's of tourism, you made me proud today, because when I wanted to study that subject, people said to me, why you study woman subject? Why are you studying that kind of subject? But you made me proud. My question is, what measures are we know the last Ministry of Tourism never made any impact. What measures are you putting in place in terms of accessibility, meaning, i.e., the ferry point of arrivals? Because people like me do not want to take $40. Point of arrival, I want to feel free in the ferry. I want the ferry to be accessible. And secondly, when you get to the hotels, they ask you to pay in dollars instead of leones. What measures are you putting in place? Thank you.
I think they're taking 3 sets of questions.
Good evening, everybody. And this question is going to our Honorable Minister. I'm just here to ask, as a Sierra Leonean who doesn't live within the London, you are away from London. How do you access the visa, if at all you want to travel to Sierra Leone? Because I believe people live so far, and coming down to London maybe is even going to cost more money than what the visa is going to cost you.
Good evening, Minister and Your Excellency. So my question is regarding to shipping. I know we're rushing, so I'll be really, really quick. I have invested time and to seek production. I'm a fashion designer. I'm the leading international fashion designer representing Sierra Leone, and I recently represented Sierra Leone for the Commonwealth Fashion Exchange. I believe I have to speak to you at some point. But I have faced problems with regards to shipping. You can ship anything in any quantity into Sierra Leone, but you cannot ship in groupage out of Sierra Leone. I've worked in Sierra Leone for the past 3 years. I've got £10,000 worth of sewing machines and materials in Sierra Leone to produce my clothing, and I just cannot ship out. You're either given DHL or air freight, which are very expensive, I know. Put it in a suitcase with friends and families, that's not sustainable, or charter an entire 20-foot container. Now, this has cut out small to medium businesses, which is essential for economic growth. So if that can be addressed, I would really be grateful, because my business and progression is stunted, and I know many other businesses that are suffering because of shipping issues. Thank you.
Can I just say, before I go to the Minister to answer those 3 questions, I should find that young lady, because the next time we have one of these, it will be about trade. And that's probably a question for the Minister of Trade. This is a forum about tourism. Just to be strict, the next person who asks a non-tourist question is getting a fine. So you've been warned. Madam Minister, would you like to take the 3 questions, please?
Well, just quickly, the question of ferry access and cost. There have been improvements in terms of ferries. I know there is one. Okay, you're talking about the cost. Yes, we have ferries now operating, and I know discussing with the Minister of Transport, I don't want to say there are plans, but I think it's an area that is open up for investment. So it will improve. And I think the ferry system has improved a little bit. But with regards to the cost, until we have more people who can be able to provide the services, then I think we can be able to negotiate the cost for those privatized ferries. The question of fashion, in as much as it has to do with shipping, but I think one of the new programs which we're going to start next year, we are trying to establish the Sierra Leone Association of Fashion Designers. Yes. So once we do that, we've already started it. The director is here, and we plan to have the first meeting, maybe by the time we go back. We've started collecting the names. If you're interested, you need to speak with the cultural directorate is there, so that you can be registered under that association. Because when I came on board, it's one of the areas that was least thought of when it comes to tourism. And you need fashion. You need to have fashion week. You need to have fashion designer. You need to get them to work with a lot of people abroad. And one of the very good person in the United States that wants to work with us is a fashion designer. So we are also trying to build the structure for fashion design in Sierra Leone. I think that was all. Oh, the e-visas. Already we are working on visas. And the question of you having visas, I think that's the remit of the High Commission. But we've done quite a lot of proposals now in terms of improving the situation. So hopefully maybe in the early part of 2019, some of these issues will be able to communicate to them, to you.
I'd like to thank Honorable Minister, and as usual, I've been given a sign, and this is always the hardest part of the thing to say, that I'm afraid we can't take any more questions. Time is our enemy, and but what I would like to say, and this is something that. Okay, the Honorable Minister wants to say something about visa. We aren't taking any more questions, I promise, not another one. Sorry.
Now, we're talking about all of this, but one possibility that now exists is visa on arrival. Okay? If you have people in and all of that. But we are trying to build the conversation around it, but it's working now. If you have people there, you're able to send all your details, and then they work it out for you. I think it can be granted. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm afraid we do, yeah, as I said, it's always the hardest bit. But what I would like to say, and this is important, so please listen. Yesterday when we met the minister, she made this commitment that if anybody gets in touch, she will ensure that they get a response. Now, you might think that's not a big deal, but I can tell you, as a Sierra Leonean who's been writing to government for the last 10 years and has not received a single email back, not even an acknowledgement, that is some statement for the minister to make. And I'm saying we should hold her to that because she gave her word and I felt she was being sincere. So if you have questions, don't think that because you didn't get to ask your question in an open forum, that's it. There's going to be networking when we're having food. Honorable Minister, His Excellency the High Commissioner are not running away. They're going to be here. Engage with them. Director of Tourism is here. Engage with them. Speak to them. But most importantly, put your questions down on paper. I'll end there, and it's time now for me to hand over to Messe, because otherwise we're going to be fined as well as thrown out of here. And having attended meetings 3 times here when the police were called for a Sierra Leonean meeting, I don't want it to happen for a 4th time. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and thank you for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ade. That's why I like that you did it so brief. So you will have the opportunity better than what you have, which is you engage the minister one-on-one, the High Commissioner, so your questions can still flow. But I am carrying a very heavy load, which is to conclude here now. And perhaps thank you guys. It's been a fantastic meeting. But before we go, it's important to have the closing. So all what we've discussed, the presentation, we're going to have the Deputy High Commissioner, Madam Agnes Macaulay, to wrap up. Then after that, we will invite the Honorable Minister and His Excellency, the High Commissioner, will take our seats, and then we'll just watch a 5-minute presentation. It's a 5-minute presentation. And we have the people in the room who are going to do that. I think I should check if they are set. I'm seeing them having a chat. Please help me recognize and welcome the Director of Tourism, Mr. Jallo. Thank you very much for coming. I have the other Director of Culture there. They are both Jallo. Thank you guys. We know you are in the room. And I have the Iron Lady here. She's been recognized already, Miss Fatmata Oyabisi. She is the Acting General Manager for the tourist board. So she orchestrated all this. So you are all welcome. So this team is going to do the presentation. And of course, I have been told also that we have more in the room. The permanent secretary, Mr. Betua. My eyes are probably deceiving me. Where is he? I have not seen Mr. Betua, but he is the permanent secretary and he's been here. I know the government delegation is here. So we appreciate. Now to conclude, I will hand over to the Deputy High Commissioner, few closing remarks, and then we do the presentation. And we have Alonso in the house. You know it's Alonso. He's going to sing, and then we're going to have food, and then we network. I assume everything should be finished by 5 minutes. Thank you, and thank you for your attention.
Good evening again. The Honorable Minister, His Excellency, the High Commissioner. Before I actually comment on all the speakers, I want to make sure that I introduce the High Commission team. At least they're here. If you can just stand so that they know that we are in support of tourism and that we are also here supporting. Yes, this is the team from the High Commission. And we've heard the High Commissioner's words that the exhibition has been fantastic indeed. And we have heard that our minister is very formidable in whatever she speaks and does, and we can see that. She is very passionate. That has been shown in her speech. And above all, what I've heard tonight is love, to show love for our nation. I think this is what every speaker here has been portraying, that we should love our nation, stand proudly to sell all the touristic exhibitions we have in Sierra Leone, and to be proud to actually defend our nation. This is what I've been hearing. And I want to take the opportunity to also appeal to all of us to heed the words of the High Commissioner, the Minister, and the storytelling. The storyteller was fantastic, saying that we have to look back. And if you look back, we then have to invest in what we have missed. You know, developments that we have missed in the past, if we check and say, oh, this was not done properly and you are in the position to do it with all the love you have for your nation. And this is the only way we can invest in the development and tourism, by really appreciating our heritage. So thank you very much for coming. And without going further, I want to also acknowledge that my husband is here. Councillor Macaulay, thank you for coming. He is also very busy, but he has been fantastic.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency, Madam Agnes Macaulay. That was a very good one, a very good closing, and you speak like the mother. And so we are all encouraged to come to the High Commission. To conclude is to now check if the presentation is ready. And also, we will have to say thank you to everybody. I want to thank my team, the AYV team. Are you guys in the house? Right. Please stand up so they see the amazing AYV team who have worked strongly, so hard to put this event together. Thank you, AYV. Thank you to everyone here. And also, I want to recognize that we have food in the house. And this food is being prepared by a well-known Sierra Leonean restaurant here, IBB's. IBB's has been our sponsor. They've been supporting us, so you will enjoy the food. It's IBB's here. Let us recognize IBB's. It's just across the road, and it prepares very nice Sierra Leone food. I take my Sierra Leonean friends there. And the Commonwealth team have not been able to make remarks, but they will talk to the minister later. I know I have Lawrence Mooley, my colleagues from the Commonwealth. Lawrence is here. The minister is requesting that we give the Commonwealth 2 minutes. So I'll ask Lawrence. The minister controls this meeting. Lawrence, please just say a few words on how we could engage.
Honorable Minister, thank you very, very much. My name is Lawrence Mooley. I'm with the Commonwealth Youth Program. Messe left us for greener pastures, but clearly he's doing a phenomenal job, and we're very excited to be here. And two things. One, we were the Minister of Youth of Sierra Leone just 2 weeks ago, and we're talking a lot about, one, youth engagement and empowerment in Sierra Leone. You are one of the most resilient countries in Africa. We want to showcase the work that young people are doing in building the country after all the challenges that Sierra Leone has faced. But we also, the Commonwealth Trade Finance Facility is really having a lot of focus on building small, medium enterprises in Sierra Leone, and we're very keen to see how, above all, young people can actually benefit throughout with this new process that is going on. So thank you very much for the time, and our Secretary General is very much excited and looking forward to working with the new government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lawrence Mooley. I will be very ungrateful not to also recognize a very dear friend. We work on an innovation and entrepreneurship project. It's Empasco. Let's welcome Ato Safarian. Ato is coming to Sierra Leone to invest, and he has an inheritance of a very big business in Russia, which maybe the minister will talk about later. So I'm going to apologize if I've not recognized everyone, but I'm sure you are well recognized. Thank you for coming, and I will now hand over to the anchors, our very handsome and beautiful AYV's anchor, to hand over back to Freetown, while I will now invite the Honorable Minister. Thank you so much. God bless you. Your Excellency, thank you for this engagement. Ade, thank you. Thank you, Asma. And thank you, everyone. This is how I close this session and hand over back to the team in Freetown.
That's it. Thank you very much. This has been a fantastic meeting. What is your highlights, Mariam, tonight?
The whole week has been a highlight for me and for us here at AYV. This is something that all of us at AYV are passionate about. Sierra Leone is a paradise, and everybody here needs to understand it. It's beautiful, it's amazing. It's not a place to ship bad kids. It's a place where we should be persuading our kids to go, okay? So I'm very happy about this week, and I really hope that the message has resonated. Alpha.
It has been a fantastic week. I have learned so much from attending these meetings. I think going forward, Sierra Leoneans have to start the journey, and I'm sure the world will embrace Sierra Leone. It's a beautiful place. When I go on holiday to Sierra Leone, I don't want to come back. And I think that